just right. Follow me.
We're rolling.
All right, guys. It was right about this time when Chris was going through this whole process. We're laughing because there's all shit going on around us, like all the time.
If you just saw the conversation that just happened.
So right around this time when Chris was going through this whole process, I actually ran into him at the gym, and we were friends on Facebook, and I was following his ordeal that he was going through. And for some reason in my head, I made up the fact that he got a DWI and he was going to jail. I don't know, maybe he hit somebody in a crosswalk. I didn't know what it was. I made it up, and we started talking and stuff. And one of the reasons why I approached him was, I'm following this because I've done a lot of things myself in the past I'm not proud of that I had to deal with. And I also want to learn, from other people's mistakes. If Chris had made a mistake and I'm following it and I see what happens and what could have happened and what different directions could be taken, I could take something from that, possibly learn something. So it was right about this time, the process you were going through, they offered you 24 months in prison, right?
Yeah, first and foremost, you mentioned, about learning from my mistake. Well, I can't say that it was that because, it was hundreds, if not thousands of mistakes that I made. So, they offered me 24 months in prison. And look, I had a business, I had community ties, I had employees who depended on our company for income to support their family. And, 24 months in prison, do I look like I belong in prison? You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. I said that to my lawyer. I was like, I can't go to prison. Are you fucking kidding me? And it wasn't the fact that I don't think I could handle it. I don't think that I honestly feel like if I did go to prison, I would have used that experience as a massive tool and opportunity for growth. But the thing that I wasn't comfortable with, the reason it freaked me the fuck out is because of the staff members that I had and their families and the sense of responsibility I felt they were, that I had to them, and the fact that they're being punished now for shit that I did in the past. So I decided to fight, I didn't want to, we didn't agree to the 24 months in prison. And the thing, you had mentioned about learning and what other people do when faced with adversity. It was interesting, when I got in trouble, I leveled up, and people were like, oh, that's crazy, that's great, you did all that stuff, and to keep your mind off of it. And it's maybe that's part of what I was doing, but I don't know, I just felt like it was an opportunity for me to be like, you know what, motherfucker, this is a test, okay?
Yeah.
You can either act like a little bitch and sit here and fucking cry and complain and seek attention and sympathy from anybody who will value their time low enough to listen to you, or you can man the fuck up, take responsibility, and take control of what you can control, which is a lot. At that point, I couldn't control what was happening between my attorneys and the state prosecutor. All I knew is that I was in control of what I could control. So I stepped my game up with my business, with my community involvement. I actually won a fucking competition, which we joke around with that, during that process.
Me and Chris are the last place guys all the time.
Yeah, and fuck it, I'm proud of it, man. I don't do the shows, to win trophies. I do it as an accountability measure to get fit, to get to that, dude, let's be real. You can't just get in that level of shape just to fuck around, So, I use that trying time to man up and to just better myself and just be a better fucking human being. And after a long and comfortable process, the universe, after putting me through a very trying time, I was granted a second chance, and I obviously I didn't go to prison, which is why we're having this conversation now. Again, I don't take a day for granted. I'm super grateful for what happened. And although that process took years off my life, what I would tell you is I wouldn't fucking change a thing, because I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the people around me. The support that I fucking got was amazing when I showed up to the courtroom that day, having 100 people outside the courtroom there to support. Just thinking about that it's a lot, But again, the universe punished me for what I did, right? It put that in my life, it put that experience in my life, but also I feel like the universe let me off because of that. It was hey, here's your second chance, motherfucker, but just know, if you fuck up again, I'm coming for you. And that's the way it works. The bottom line is this: if you do right by others and always do the right fucking thing, it's always going to work out for you, regardless of what it is.
Now, what Chris mentioned was said that this is a test. Now, just listening to him talk just now, and you know, the older I get, the more I try to learn, the more you know, I kind of comprehend things. You know, the universe was testing him. I honestly believe this. The things that the life he has now, he was coming into, did he deserve it, and was he ready for it? Even though it was there, it didn't mean he deserved it or was ready for it. So the universe has a way of testing you to let you know whether you're ready for that or not. If he wasn't ready to take the responsibility of having a business and, you know, having people that work under him and provide for families and do the community, if he wasn't ready for that, the universe would have slapped his ass in jail in a fucking heartbeat. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. What he did was actually take the bull by the horns and show the universe. And I know it sounds so far out there, guys. I know I'm going to lose some people on this, but it's the way it works. It's the same shit you hear from successful people over and over again. He took it head on. He went in the direction that, you know, showed basically that he was a leader. He has to be a leader now. He leads a company. He leads people every day. I just saw, you know, Lee come in here, and he's your new protege.
Example,
and he has to lead by example. You know, sometimes you can do tough love, but you know, like
a lot of tough love.
You know, especially if he's a good friend of yours. But the bottom line is, you're now a leader, and you're leading people, and you have to act like a leader. You know, at all times. So, Chris, I appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, if we could do one quick takeaway, like, first of all, if you made it through this fucking video, like, honestly, if you made it through this whole thing, like, good for you. I promise you, you're fucking going places because we've been going a while here. But the takeaway from this, it is simple. You're gonna go through some shit, right? Everybody does. Like, your problems don't make you fucking special. Like, as much as you'd like to think your problems make you special, it doesn't. What makes you special is how you react to the problem. Right? So if you're going through some adversity, you're going through some shit, like, just know that's the universe saying, all right, what you got? Show me what you got. And at that point, you have one of two paths you can take. All right? You can sit there and let that problem consume you and just like soak up all that fucking negative energy and sit right there and just manifest that bullshit and literally like just drag that out as long as fucking possible. Or you could like sit there and understand that that's an opportunity for growth and like get a little excited and be like, all right, you know what? Game on. It's really up to you. It all comes down to your mindset. It all comes down to you accepting responsibility for your life and realizing that everything that happens or everything that's happening to you is happening because of you. And that's something I say so much. And you mentioned about being over people's heads, and that was over my head for a very long time. And it was probably about the 177th time I've heard it, where something clicked and it resonated. Everything that happens to me is happening because of me. Everything that has happened, everything that will happen. You know, we could talk about like my past, like growing up, right? Like that wasn't happening because of me, but I took responsibility after the fact as far as not letting that dictate my future, which so many people do. So many people let their past circumstances, you know, dictate their future, and they want to talk about it and, you know, just complain and like get that fucking sympathy, and there's no value in it, you know. Instead, they should use their experience, use their trying times, use their failures, use the adversity that life throws their way as a catalyst for change and as a motivational tool to, you know, sit back and learn from, to grow, and then share the story with people, because it's pretty fucking motivating and inspiring when you hear about people that go through some crazy shit that most of us can't even wrap our fucking minds around, but they're still winning. Like, why is that?
Like, you think you got it bad? I mean, there's always somebody out there that has it like a million times worse, and they're still getting ahead, or they're still forging forward, they're still improving. So if they're doing that, there's no fucking excuse for you not to do it. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate your time
so much. Hey, so much. Seriously, if you guys will watch this whole fucking thing, you're amazing. You're the real MVP. So.
I'm Biosphere, and I approve this message.